I could listen to her all day. All right, it is 7:16. Let's head back downstairs and check in with Lynn.
Thanks, Anita. She's definitely a showstopper. From fluids to filters, your car needs some TLC from time to time, just like you do. And our auto guy, Brian Bowersock from Escondido Auto, is here to make sure you don't neglect your car so that your car doesn't let you down.
That's right. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
So you said we're talking specifically about transmission fluids today.
Transmission fluid today, because there's some specific things with it. Number one is transmission fluid typically operates about at 175 degrees. But here in Southern California, often with stop-and-go traffic, towing our toys out to the desert or etc., fluid can get up over 250 degrees, and it starts to deteriorate rapidly like that. And that's why service on the transmission is so important.
Well, I was looking at here. You know, it used to be when I was back in college, I could service my own car, but now these are all transmission fluids. How do you know which one's right for your car?
Well, each one is manufacturer specific. I brought all kinds of transmission fluid. We have Honda transmission fluid there that's required in Honda trannies. GM, Ford, Mercedes, Nissan, they all have their own specific fluids now. At West Escondido Auto and Trans and most quality service facilities, we stock all these different fluids because you cannot interchange them.
You can't, so they really are component specific then?
Correct. A lot of cars have component specific fluid. That is absolutely correct.
All right, well, this was kind of enlightening to me. Let me hold this up. These are the different transmission fluids at different levels of cleanliness to give people an idea of how yucky it can get.
On the left here, we have obviously clean transmission fluid. In the middle, this is what most people's transmission fluid looks like. It needs to be serviced, possibly flushed.
Okay.
And this here is somebody that's never serviced their transmission, obviously. The fluid's in really bad condition, and you definitely need to do a flush.
What impact can it have on your car? I mean, because most of us aren't going to see this inside the car, but if it is to this stage, what impact does it have on your car?
Well, what happens is you get a valve possibly that hangs up from the fluid being dirty, contaminants in it, and lack of fluid pressure burns a clutch component inside the tranny, and from there the only way to fix it is to remove it and disassemble it.
Okay, well, let's put up the information on the screen of how often they need to have it checked. How often should they do it?
Well, you should service your transmission between 12 and 15,000 miles or once a year. That will prevent you from most likely having a major transmission failure if you keep it clean. It's really important.
And do you have to do it proactively, or is it something that's part of your normal service?
It should. Manufacturers have longer intervals for this. This is one of these services that we recommend a shorter interval because we don't want to see you buy a transmission. Your facility, at West Escondido, we track exactly what our customers are doing and make recommendations at mileage intervals to keep them on top of it.
Well, I know it's going to vary dramatically from car to car what it can cost if your transmission goes down, but kind of give us the range of what you're expecting if it does have a problem.
As far as replacing a transmission, anywhere from roughly $1,800 to $3,500, depending on the type of vehicle and what kind of transmission it has in it, obviously.
So this is very serious. This is something you really have to keep an eye on.
It's kind of like, we call it like buying insurance.
Okay.
Really is. It really is.
And if you want to have it serviced, or flushed rather, is it something that you have to request, or are they just going to notice that, look, this needs to be done? Your
facility should recommend it. One thing I do want to bring to light that's really important is the replacing of the filter every time, whether you just do a service or a flush. There are some facilities out there that just flush the transmission, never replace the filter.
Okay.
As you can see, this is a filter I brought with me. These filters trap the contaminants inside of them, and when you flush a transmission, all you're doing without replacing the filter is pushing all the contaminants more into this filter and jamming up the filter material.
Gotcha.
And it's not good for the transmission either. So the filter should always be replaced.
All right, all good information. And real quickly, tell us about, if it does not fail but just still is yucky like this, how can it impact the performance of your car?
Well, as far as that goes, you can have lag shifts or sliding into gear, things like that. It can affect the gas mileage slightly, not a whole lot. But what we're more concerned about is it actually permanently damaging the transmission, where it costs you a lot more money down the road.
All right, well, thanks for making sure our cars stay in good shape. And if you'd like more information, just log on to our website at fox6.com.